Hey y'all, it's Brooks from Collectible Brooks, and yes, I know this is the second video I've made y'all watch this week, so you're probably tired of hearing from me, so I promise I'll be quick. But today, I wanted to talk a little bit about a style that I know that most of you are familiar with, if not obsessed with, Grandmillennial style. Now, let me first say, I think Grandmillennial can be a person, or I think it can be a description of the style, and the two obviously go hand in hand. So let's first start talking about Grandmillennial as the description of the style. Using or having Grandmillennial decor or style is basically embracing, having an appreciation for, and incorporating traditional and classic styles and pieces that you love. You have to love them. That's a really important part of this style. But Grandmillennial pieces are usually the traditional pieces that might even remind you of an earlier time. You might feel drawn to purchase a milk glass butter dish because there used to be one identical to it that sat on your grandmother's countertop. This is obviously nostalgia, and it's also kind of why we call this style granny chic, which I think is really fun. And this is where the antique and vintage hunting comes in that I know so many of us love to do, because you've got to go find that special milk glass butter dish that's out there somewhere. Or you could be more like me and you grew up surrounded by a certain style such as chinoiserie. So now you feel like that style is in your DNA and now it's all over your home. But it's finding those pieces and styles that you love and using them in a mix and creating layers, if you will. You've probably heard the phrase, it's all about the mix. And we do this to create a classic, timeless, usually a little eclectic space, since you're mixing some styles, and also slightly edgy, but not too edgy, because remember, this is granny chic after all. But it's supposed to be a space that's filled with things that you love and are a reflection of who you are. Some examples of typical pieces that a Grandmillennial might collect might be wicker and rattan, chintz, needlepoint, Staffordshire, Majolica, Florentine, milk glass, silver plate, Fostoria glass, brass pieces. And then there's my favorite, chinoiserie, or what my husband now calls chemiserie. Those are all traditional products and styles that may have decreased in popularity, but people are now developing more of an appreciation of them and collecting them. So if this sounds like you, then you're probably the type of person, Grandmillennial, or a person who decorates and even lives a Grandmillennial lifestyle. I always think fondly of those friends of mine who like to wear the kaftans and drink martinis, which I've really never been able to pull off. But it's also pulling out the good china and the linens and monogramming everything that's not nailed down, breaking out the good silver, or even just wearing your pearls sometimes. Now, I've seen it written, how's beautiful, that these people are usually in their 20s and 30s, hence the millennial part. But no longer being in my 20s or 30s, I think that this is a little ageist. So you can still be a Grandmillennial if you're older, but probably not somebody in their 80s or 90s, because those are the people that still have all these pieces that we're all collecting now. I'd also like to mention that using a Grandmillennial style is great if you're decorating on a budget, or if you really feel strongly about upcycling those older pieces, because you can find so many of these pieces in vintage shops, thrift stores, flea markets, and they're usually less expensive than buying new. They're probably better quality, and you're contributing to helping the environment by not buying new. So I think Grandmillennial equals classic, traditional, usually vintage styles and pieces you love, plus mixing and layering, which then comes out to your own special, personal, beautifully curated collection. So, and of course, my Grandmillennial style is not going to be like anyone else's, because it's supposed to be a reflection of who I am and what I love. So anyway, that's basically my take on Grandmillennialism. And if you're looking for some great vintage pieces for your own Grandmillennial collection, I will be having new items on my website this Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to have a lot of really classic, fun pieces like bows and tassels, real ones and silver ones, classic blue and white and chinoiserie, fun brass and silver pieces, and then collector's items. I'm gonna have some pink and purple depression glass pieces and some darling little Limoges trinket boxes too. So some fun things for a table, shelves, just all over your home. I hope you can check it out. It'll be collectiblebrooks.com Sunday, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And that's all for now. Thanks guys, see you soon.